Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing internal travel documents for movement of persons within Thailand. And at the time, as of the time of this video, there are multiple provinces here in Thailand that are under this sort of I'll actually describe it directly, but basically highest or strictly controlled area is what they're being designated. And as we've discussed in another video we made contemporaneously with this one, it seems the government is going to great effort, at least as of the time of this video, to not term this lockdown, because a lockdown has different ramifications, especially legal ramifications associated with it. However, this current situation, different provinces are deemed to be highly controlled or strictly controlled. And the staff here in the office assisted me in doing a translation for the guidelines associated with this, an English language translation. Guidelines for screening tests for traveling out of the highest and strictly controlled areas for 5 provinces consisting of Samut Sakhon, Chonburi, Rayong, Chantaburi, and Trat. Guidelines for the person who wishes to travel outbound from the highest and strictly controlled areas. 1.1 General Matters, must present a certificate of necessity which can be requested from the relevant government officer or the local government officer. And then duties. So these are sort of the criteria under which someone can gain one of these sort of, for lack of a better term, certificates of necessity, which then allow someone to travel over a border. In a very real sense, it's what has sometimes been described in the context of other jurisdictions in the past as a quote-unquote internal passport, because it allows you to travel over these borders. So basically, like delivery of goods, and necessary goods, food, medicine, medical supplies, consumer goods under certain circumstances, food, industrial goods, the postage, newspapers, import-export under certain circumstances, it appears, public utility workers, telecommunication, construction, maintenance, and the employees who work in factories. Then you've got workers in medicine, banking, education, transportation. Then you've got government officers, etc. And there's another thing under here called sort of a certificate of duty, for lack of a better term, like it's a certificate where your duty is necessary. This is somewhat akin to what I've seen in the United States being described as essential, non-essential, or essential workers versus non-essential workers, folks that need to be somewhere due to essential need. And then quoting from, so getting into some of the logistics associated with this, quoting from an article in the Pattaya News, pattayanews.com, quoting directly from an article titled, How to Register for Interprovincial Travel in and Out of High Control Zones, including Chonburi. Quoting directly, the Pattaya News first published the orders by the Royal Government Gazette yesterday afternoon, after it was released regarding 5 provinces being placed under the highest state of control, including needing official permission for interprovincial, not interdistrict travel. Quoting further, first, the 5 provinces are Chonburi, including Pattaya, Rayong, Trat, Nonthaburi, and Samut Sakhon. It involves entering and leaving the province. And then they get into the process to obtain a registration letter, and quoting directly, to certify the importance and need for traveling interprovincially between high-controlled zones of the 5 provinces listed above. Quoting further, you will need to provide evidence that your trip out of the province is essential and urgent. Here again, necessary, essential, urgent. These seem to be sort of the operative verbiage here. Now, another article from the Bangkok Post, this is bangkokpost.com. This article is titled, CCSA Reveals Permit Issuers List. Bid to Quash Interprovincial Goods Trade Chaos. Quoting directly, chaos descended on many district offices in 5 provinces last week as people, most of them making a living on interprovincial goods trade, clamored to apply for the permits. And yeah, this has caused a lot of consternation. Quoting further, for the public, the papers may be released by, okay, so before I continue this quote, so this started off and there was sort of a limited number of folks who could even issue these. Most notably, it was basically only done at the district office. However, they seem to have expanded the amount of people that can issue this documentation. So quoting further, for the public, the papers may be released by district chiefs, directors of district offices, gamnans, village heads, assistant chiefs of local administrative organization, and heads of police stations. So it appears that they are doing what they can to try and get this documentation out to people who have a necessary, who need it, who have a real, you know, they're essential. Again, that word came up again. But long story short, yeah, at least for the time being, this currently looks like the regime that's in place in order to get to and from or in between these 5 provinces here in the Kingdom of Thailand.